there with the car or something. There's the noise in the background. But Rob Brown in Memphis, Brendan Martin in Ocala. It is National Championship Monday. Wow. Miami and Indiana, they are here. I think everybody can't be right at the same time. Ken Capps will join us at about 15, 20 after. Dave Bartu, half past the hour. We're going to really get into the numbers of Indiana and Miami. As college football has its championship game, look, do us a favor. Take a picture with your phone of the QR codes. We are live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. 8 channels simultaneously, folks. That's hard to do, but we do it because nobody beats our prices. No, nobody outworks us. The only easy day was yesterday. And we're old school. We're not get off my lawn, guys. We are follow us and you'll win. So let's get started real quick. Buddy's going to be with us in a few minutes. The Buddy Martin Show. Hey, check it out. Listen, true grit journalism, storytelling, incredible life of journalism. He's going to add his thoughts on what it's like. He's been to these championship games. Y'all too have. Y'all have played in them and you've won them. Ellis and Pete as coaches. And Buddy, your words of wisdom here, as Larry Munson would say to Lawrence Smith, Buddy, what do you got?
What you got? Yeah, good morning to you, Rob. Good morning there, Pete. Good morning to you, Alice.
Good morning.
This morning. It's cold here, too. I can put a picture up, too, from yesterday. We had snow in Florida.
Yeah.
Along the I-10. It looks like a slope in Colorado or something. It's unbelievable. Yeah, but so I'm not to have out my window, the sunshine, I see the water. But good morning to you. What an incredible time we're living in right now. I'm telling you. I can't keep up. My head's spinning, Ellis, spinning. So much going on. Let's just focus on the big stories. I mean, there has never been in my lifetime, and I've been around a couple of years, a bigger, more exciting story than Indiana and Signetti and Mendoza. Unbelievable what they've done. And they got the stage tonight. What's the line? Have you seen it lately?
-8.5.
That's the last one I saw, 8.5.
Indiana, of course, favored.
Yeah, well, Miami is a dangerous team. So I will never pick against Indiana again. Unbelievable what they've done. What a story Mendoza is, going back to his home turf. Played high school ball there, all the angles about the coaches, his dad played him. With Cristobal, et cetera, et cetera. So that's going to be fun tonight. Going to be fun to watch. Concludes the football season, which feels like it's been around for about 10 years. It's been a long year, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, really, it's been good, but it's been really a long one. So, big game tonight. I'm gonna go with I'm not gonna take the points. I'm gonna go with Indiana. Got to go with Indiana, don't we?
Yeah, I do. And Ellis, quickly you and then Pete and then back to Buddy. But Ellis, I'm got 38-29 Indiana. They win. It's a late push, but it's a lot closer than people think.
I'm tired of picking games. I'm batting about 400 now. I still think Georgia's in there somewhere.
Yeah, should be.
But I don't know, man. I'm like Buddy. I don't know how you can bet against Indiana after the last 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, they just keep drubbing people. They're just beating them. They're just crushing them. So I think Indiana's going to win it. And the only factor that I think that Miami, it would be their defensive front causing enough trouble for Mendoza. And they're capable. But so far, Indiana's handled everything they've seen.
Yeah. Pete, quickly, the quarterback position, Fernando Mendoza, his brother's the backup. You never know when you're going down. Bo Nix, next to last play of the game, the guy who preceded him at Auburn, Jarrett Stidham, has got to carry him to the playoffs. But what do you think happens tonight, Pete? Along the line of what Buddy says, it's hard to bet against the Hoosier Nation.
Mendoza right now and Beck, they're both throwing the football at 73% completion rate. Okay, which that's pretty good now. That's a pretty good number for quarterbacks. Here's the difference to me. Carson Beck is throwing 29 touchdowns with 11 interceptions. Mendoza, 41 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
That can't happen.
So he's protecting the football very, very well. But the other thing, Rob, and look, you guys have been around the game a long time. you have to establish the run to take the pressure off your quarterback in the passing game. When Indiana averages plus 4 yards or more per carry running the football, their margin of victory is 42 points in 10 games this year. 42 points when they average 4 or more yards. When Indiana doesn't rush the football for 4 yards, when it's 4 yards or less, their margin of victory is 9 points. So the key, and everybody knows about that Miami defensive front, they have to stop the run. And all defensive coordinator, I'm preaching to the choir with Ellis because he did such a great job with it. Our number one, stop the run. Well, Miami's front seven can do that. And then when they got Keontae Scott coming out of the secondary, who's really a big nickel to me. I mean, kid who returned the interception, a couple games. He's 6'3", he's 215, but he runs like 4'5". He reminds me of the Miami of old. And I got to tell you, this Miami defense, and they give me nightmares. It's like the one we played against the 88.
Yeah, Pete, you're breaking up a little bit.
Messador and Bain, and it's just, they're damn good now. I mean, they gave me nightmares watching them the other night, but man, they can run. They're cool. And Indiana, they're like a boxer. They come out, they test you in round 1, round 2, and then all of a sudden, man, they flip that switch and they find a weakness. But watching their O-line, they identify double teams so well, and they get pushed at the point of attack. And then one of the 2 linemen in the double team went off to get the second level. They're really coached.
Yeah, it is going to be a great game. Buddy, close us out. Thinking about the storylines on this game, there's so many of them. You're a great writer. Thomas Kincaid, the painter of light. Buddy Martin, the painter of sports.
No. Paint the roof, maybe. Ceiling. No, here, I'm going to switch gears just 1 second back to the storylines, because there's so many great storylines coming at me and at others, including not just football, but basketball. But number one, I flip over, I don't know about you guys, to the NFL in late November after Thanksgiving and start watching more of the NFL, because I know I don't have a lot of great games coming up. And so I watch the NFL games. You tell me there's been a more remarkable play than what Caleb Williams made last night in a game that they should have won, did not. Unbelievable. If you haven't seen, look it up. He made a play, a desperation throw. I mean, if you haven't seen, look at it. Unbelievable play. And they ended up losing in overtime. However, but having said that, around here, we're talking basketball, and we're talking about the jersey story, which, if you guys haven't heard about it, is a wonderful story. Florida goes into Vandy last night or Saturday and afternoon, and in a remarkable basketball game, and they were raved about how a great game it was. They wound up winning the game, but just on some terrific plays. And the storyline was about the wrong jerseys. There were 3 jerseys left behind. So they had Boogie Flan, who last week made the news because he cut his dreads after 5 years and had the game of his life at Florida, guard. And then Xavier Lee, the kid from the Ivy League, who plays usually wears wears 1, had to wear 99. And now they don't want him to give it up because he had a game of his life. So they beat Vanderbilt 98-94. But it was now Florida is a force moving up. Look out now. Here they come. 4 straight SEC wins. They're favored to win every game in the SEC the rest of the year. They're playing at a high level. Their guards are just starting to play. So wonderful, wonderful storyline there. Finally, if you haven't seen the list of the SEC teams, how much they're worth, it's interesting. They put a value on how much each team is worth online. And finally, I'm going to say one more thing. Got a big book signing tomorrow in Ocala. France Beer's wonderful basketball book, which if you haven't got a copy, you need to. Go to Spurs.com and click on there and hit shop, and you get a copy of The Golden Season, which recaps the whole year in pictures and stories. It's out now. It's available. 2 big book signings this week in Ocala. One at Cogent Bank tomorrow morning at 11, and then Saturday at Prestige Auto 11. Check them out. You'll be glad you did. If you like basketball, if you like Florida basketball, you're going to love this book.
Well, and great writing. Buddy Martin Show, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's on this channel, 9 p.m. Eastern. True grit journalism, great guests, and a boatload of content. Buddy, by the way, before you go, I'm out duck hunting, standing in flooded timber over here in Parkin, Arkansas, 16 degrees, wind out of the north coming in, and we get a text from Michael Jordan, not the Michael Jordan, but our friend in our duck club from Seaside down there, Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. He goes, it's snowing. And I'm up there, freezing, my hand frozen to my gun, and it's snowing in Florida 2 years in a row. But then again, we've got Indiana playing for a football national championship.
Yeah.
Right. Buddy, look, man, thank you for doing this.
Thank you, guys.
I love the stories. And that book, folks, get the book. It's like lifting weights with your brain. Buddy, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rob, for having me on. See you guys. See you,
Hey,
Pete.
buddy, good to see you, man.
Nice talking to you. See you.
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what. When Buddy writes stories, it is like painting pictures, guys. And this game we got coming up tonight, and Ken Capps wanted to weigh in on it. It's an exciting day. I think what we got going on in college football right now, the ratings, the numbers, the eyeballs, people want to see the game. Ellis, you and Pete on the day of a national championship game, just your nerves have got to be, clicking, anxiety. But then again, it's what you've been coaching for. I'll quickly, back and forth to Ellis and then to Pete before Ken jumps in. Ellis, what can Miami do now that they hadn't been able to do all year, if anything?
I mean, I don't think you can just make some kind of wholesale change at this time of the year. I think what they do is good enough. They're going to have to do it against a really good football team, but they've got a running game. I worry about Beck. I know he's playing better the last 4 or 5 games, but I do worry about him finishing the game without a boo-boo. I don't know. It's just something about him. Mendoza, on the other hand, I think has got ice water in his veins. But I think Miami has the ingredients to beat Indiana, but they got to play a heck of a ball game. They got to be good in all those phases. Their defensive front's good. They can stop the run. They can rush the passer. They got, like I said, they got a running game, and if it gets going, it really makes it easier for Beck, and he needs help. He cannot carry that football team against a team like Indiana. So, I don't know what they do specifically other than they've got to play well in all of their strengths and make it one of the best games they've played.
Yeah. Pete, again, it's National Championship Monday, kind of the routine in the morning in the hotel down there. I'm sure they're looking at it as a business trip. As Gus would say when Auburn would go to a bowl game, we're going to get butter. Now, the word better is spelled better with an E, not you. But, Pete, quickly, I feel like Larry Munson and Lawrence Smith. Quickly, Pete, what do you got? Break it down for us, and then we'll go to Ken for a few minutes, and then we got Dave coming on here at about half past.
I'm like Ellis. We didn't change a thing. In fact, we would have a pregame meal, breakfast, at like 10 o'clock because it's a night game. And then right after that, we'd have position meetings, and then we'd have a walkthrough. And usually we were in a ballroom, depending on the weather. Or if the weather was good enough, we'd go outside in the parking lot and have the final walkthrough. And then guys were free until the pregame meal. But Coach Holtz was great about, hey, guys, get off your feet. If there was football on that day, which, a pro game or something, don't watch football. Think about, and Lou was big on visual, on vision, on, see your role. Every man on this team has a role. How are you going to contribute tonight? special teams. If you're the holder, hey man, you gotta handle. If you're the kicker, go through the long snapper, just the little things. If you're on a extra point field goal team, nobody gets through your gap. I mean, the visualization that Lou wanted everybody to go through was tremendous. Then we come pregame meal. We weren't leaving till the next day, so everybody was dressed in sweats, so we all looked, as Coach said, uniform. We're all the same. We'd eat, and then 15 minutes after the pregame meal, which was always 4 hours before, 15 minutes after that meal, he had a quick team meeting. A chaplain would come in, have a short prayer, and then we'd get on the bus and we'd go to the stadium, and it was on, But like Ellis said, there's nothing you change. In fact, you start to try to add something or change, some guys are going, whoa, wait a minute, we haven't done that all year. And they start to tense. And his whole idea is don't make a fist, relax your hand. Play free, we got to relax. So the last thing you do on game day, and obviously the national championship game, there's only 2 teams playing, relax. But visualize your job, and everybody here visualize being on the field, because you're only one play away from getting in, because you never know when the guy in front of you is going down. So Coach would go through that on a weekly basis. He had a great plan. And then his pregame speeches, holy mackerel. I mean, Coach Lou was the best at getting the team ready to play and just bursting out of that locker room. But we were out in Phoenix we played the Fiesta Bowl to beat West Virginia, and back then you went out for a whole week. It was not like today. First 2 days of practice were horrible. So Wednesday, he had a team meeting after practice, and he said, I want these 60 guys tonight at 5 o'clock to be ready to go. We've got a special event, but I can only get 60 tickets. So everybody's like, what the hell is he talking about? He took those 60 guys. No coaches went except him. He took those 60 guys to listen to the Phoenix Symphony Orchestra.
There you go.
And everybody was like, where the hell are we going? He said, shut up. I'll tell you when we get there. And you're going to like it. And you're going to like it.
Yeah.
So, as Lou goes, they went to the symphony. They came back, had a team meeting. He said, now, I know you guys listen to other modes of music, but did you hear anybody play a wrong note? He went through the whole deal. You have this, you have the percussion, this, you have that. They all played in unison. We haven't practiced in unison yet. I got to tell you, a bunch of our guys the next day came out and said, what he did there, we never thought about it that way. And it got everybody right. I mean, he went to the director of the bowl and he said, tell me something that's going on, a concert. And they said, the only concert we have in town is the Phoenix Symphony. He said, get me 61 tickets. I mean, no, man. But again, that didn't happen on game day. It was just to get everybody on the same page.
Well, Pete, look, I know you said you've got to go. Your internet, you were kind of breaking up a little bit, but I love that in unison. We're running a few minutes behind, Dave. I apologize. But Ken, I know you wanted to come on for a few minutes, make some comments on the national championship game. And Pete, you said just if we lose you, we lose you. It's nothing against you. I think the signal was coming in and out. But Ken, you wanted to weigh in, then I want to get with Dave and we're gonna have a serious breakdown on the numbers and the metrics and all we're going to do it during this show, but it's national championship game. What stories are you seeing out there that I know we're not talking about that you're going to write about?
Well, I want to go back. And first of all, Happy New Year, everybody. It's great to see everybody. I want to go back to this Monday morning back in August. when before that first game was played on that Thursday night. And the four teams that were talked about who were going to be in this tournament, the final four, were supposed to be Penn State, Clemson, Texas,
Yeah.
and Ohio State.
Yeah.
Think about that. Just think about that. And the two, we know what happened to Penn State. They lost everything, including their coach. Clemson didn't even come close to anything. And ironically, Penn State beats Clemson in the Pinstripe Bowl. Texas loses to Ohio State that first game. Everybody says, well, that's okay. You'll be fine. Well, of course, then they lost to Florida down the road, and that was their kiss of death not to get in. And then isn't it ironic that Ohio State, who ran the table, and everybody thought, okay, they're just, they're going to clobber everybody, just, win the national championship, lose to the two teams that are playing tonight, which are Indiana and Miami. So I just really think that's ironic, to go back and look at that on that hot August Monday. And yes, it's snowing in Florida. I'm a huge Pensacola fan. It was snowing in Pensacola yesterday.
Yep.
And, I think I was listening to Coach over there, and Coach is 100% right. I think Miami can win this game, but I think Carson Beck has to play an absolutely perfect game. But he's shown that he can also play a non-perfect game, and there at the very end, get his team into a position to win. So I think that Indiana is definitely a favorite in this game. ESPN had him at like almost 70% last night, and I think that's correct. But Carson has shown that he can also, with 3 minutes to play, get Miami in a position to win. So I just think it's going to be great how this game turns out either way. All the different Miami connections both ways, with the Mendoza family being from down there. Francisco's dad is a doctor down there, of all things. And I just think it's going to be a cool game. But I wanted to go back to those first four teams and look at that. And maybe it's like the kiss of death on being on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I don't know, but there we are.
Yeah, great stuff. Look, man, Dave Bartu, weigh in a little bit. Ken Capps is out in Dallas, Football Writers Association of America. I remember well that Thursday night I was over in Atlanta at our daughter Mallory's. They'd moved in about 2 weeks earlier. In the middle of all the boxes, they had the color TV going, and I watched Missouri on that Thursday night. And Pete was on the sidelines in Columbia telling me, oh, wow, what was going on. But let's get in here, get your thoughts. Dave Bartu, College Football Matrix, and hempforpros.com.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, that was that was also when Arch Manning was the Heisman winner before we even got going. And it was good to see him mature and turn things around. He caught a lot of flack in September. And held it together and kind of started pushing Texas forward, and then Sark decided to Sark things up and get rid of his DC and bring in a guy who hasn't called plays in 26 years or something. So, and that wasn't a shot at you, Ellis. Okay. So, but today's game, no surprise when you look at the data, Indiana dominates everything across the board. When you look at this game by the numbers, what these teams have done. But I think the biggest thing that stands out in terms of what's even is defensively. You got the number 2 scoring efficiency defense coming into this tournament. You got the number 10 scoring efficiency defense in Miami. Both of them, Indiana, number 1 in college football game control this year. They have had greater control of their football games than anybody else. But Miami defensively has the number 3 game control. So I always like to look at the things that people aren't talking about, and that is the weakness of this, and that is the Miami offense. And as Ken just said, it can be a strength as long as Carson Beck isn't throwing behind everybody and not getting the ball down the field. No, seriously, if we played a drinking game where Carson Beck throws behind the receiver, even if he catches it, we're all drunk by halftime. That dude has something with getting the ball in the right place at the right time, but still wins football games. But there's any way we can slice up this game. But I think the key part, and kind of capitalizing on what Ken said, is Miami needs to keep it close. And I've broken down all the games by phases. I did this yesterday at all the NFL playoff games. I turned on my Twitter AI agent, and it went play by play during the game, calling out what was going on. And I kind of did that this morning already. And the big thing that stood out to me is Indiana coming out at halftime. This is the single best halftime adjustment coaching staff in college football. In their last 5 games, and I'm making it a football number, Indiana, third quarter, 14-0. They don't give up any points. They score touchdowns. Okay. So Miami, yeah, people will go, oh, they got to keep it close at halftime. No, they have to keep it close all the time. But the big one is going to be trying to survive the third quarter. If they're one score away going into the fourth quarter, the psychology, I think, kicks in. I think the tenseness of the moment kicks in. And I think at that point, it's anybody's ball game. But I expect Indiana to make better halftime adjustments than Miami. And that's going to be the change in the game, is going to be the start of the third quarter.
All right, Ken, a few minutes before we go, we got to stay on schedule. Sorry, we're running a little bit behind. Whoops, we just lost him there. But hopefully he'll come back in. But I think those numbers, to me, are fascinating. And you look at Ken, just make some comments. And we're got a little bit behind today before you go, just in the last 3 or 4 minutes here.
Sure.
And we'll bring you back on again soon. And I appreciate it. It's a wild day. But you heard what Dave just said. Any other angles you want to take, stories? Because the writers, if you're reading about this and you read the data that Dave puts out, because Ellis and Pete can understand it for sure, and I know you can too, it all makes sense.
Well, and I love his analysis. I mean, I think it's awesome. And the one thing I would add to that is that, Miami has played with a chip on their shoulder these entire playoffs. Everybody griped and moaned that they got in to begin with, and there was all this consternation. And so they played with a chip on their shoulder. And of course, they came down to College Station and just beat the Aggies to a pulp. And after that, I talked directly to Coach Cristobal and to Beck and Reuben Bain, as a matter of fact, at the Cotton Bowl, and they were just like, we're done. We're done being the underdog. But on the other hand, they play with that chip on their shoulder that I think they use well to their advantage in situations like this. And but yeah, if they keep it close, they can definitely pull it off. But if Indiana comes out like they did, against like Alabama, and just start, they're up 21-0, or I think it's going to be very hard for Miami to catch up. But again, I just like all the Miami stuff. I mean, this should be called Miami Vice 2026 or something, And somehow we need those. We need Crockett and all those guys in there, don't we? And I don't mean
Yes.
Jasmine.
Yeah. Well, all right, Ken. How do people follow you, keep up with you? Here, we've had Buddy Martin on at the beginning, you on, 2 of the best sports writers in America. But they can follow you and all the storylines that you'll be writing about today, tomorrow, and for the next 35 or 40 years.
Oh, gosh, I hope I make it that long. At Texas Six-Man Ken is where to find me on X. And, as Carol Burnett said, I'm so glad we had this time together.
Hey, you're looking great from the Hook'em Hut too, by the way, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. Ken Capps, I'm going to tell you what, the stories, the angles that you get from the great writers are fascinating. Dave, that breakdown that you gave, it's like when I used to go do stories at Fort Benning, if the battalion commander, who was always a colonel, would come up, 3rd Ranger Battalion, on a training exercise. There wasn't any table with comfortable leather chairs in a boardroom for 3 hours of bullshit. It was a round top table like you see phone cable put on the side of the road, round top table. Everybody around him he would give out the mission statement, and it'd take 5 minutes or less. Any questions? Hooah, let's go. That's the way I like it. Dave, that's what you just did. Ellis, Pete, let's start jumping in like when you're in the swamp late at night, the bullfrogs and the crickets and everything going. Dave, you wanted, and Dave called me Saturday. We were talking about doing a breakdown of the game. So everybody out there watching, the next 30 minutes on this hour of power is going to be the best 30 minutes you've probably ever heard about college football. You got a national championship coach in Pete Cordelli at Notre Dame, national championship coach in Ellis Johnson at Alabama, and almost at Auburn. I mean, he's played for it twice, which is twice more than I have, I can assure you. But Dave, throw some red meat out there, and let's let the Lions and the Tigers just get at it.
Hey, do I get to count a national championship in my favor if Miami wins, since I helped build the staff? I think I'm going to take that one. I think I'm going to take that one.
I think you should get a ring. Go ahead.
It's funny too, because every contract that I send out, I there's a clause in there that me and my co-founder get a national championship ring if they win one, and about 9 times out of 10, legal finds it, and they're like, "What the hell is this?" I'm like, "Come on, we're just guys having some fun." What's a couple rings if you win a national title? So, but interestingly enough, there's a few of them out there in the system. But no, I am excited for the game, but at the same time, I'm also really trying to be realistic about it. I'm hoping for a good football game. But as we know in college football is a lot of blowouts. That's one of the beautiful things about every Saturday. There's 65 to 70 games, and when a game's a blowout, they just switch it to a close one. So it kind of feels like there's always a close game going on. But realistically, in college football, 3 touchdowns and a cloud of dust is what is more likely to happen. And you look at Indiana, and I think the first caveat in the data is we need to, and I know we won't do this, but we need to stop comparing today's team to yesterday's team. You know, the NIL, the portal team, relative to past national champions, past national championship losers, past seasons, it's not even close. I don't believe for a second any of these teams would even be as close to as good as they were, or are on paper, relative to the other champs. But and I'm not trying to take that away from Indiana. I just don't believe, and the numbers show it, any of these teams are as good as they used to be. That being said, Indiana entered this playoffs number 2 in defensive scoring efficiency, number 3 in offensive scoring efficiency. They were the only team in the playoffs that was top 10 in both. Okay, this really isn't, in my opinion, wasn't much of a playoff. And every national title winner the last 26 years was top 3 in offense and or defense. You got to be elite. So in terms of rooting for the data, I'm rooting for Indiana to win, because it will continue to show that no matter what season, no matter what team, no matter where it's at, you have to be elite to win it all. And I think that's a great reward for Indiana doing that. But inside the numbers, when you dive in a little deeper, there's not a whole lot that Miami does better than Indiana in any part of the game. Okay. So for example, I broke down scripting. Everybody talks about scripting the first 15 plays, NFL and college football. Okay. I broke out the first 15 plays of every team of every game in college football. Okay. And then I ranked where Miami and Indiana are. Okay. Miami, first 15 scripted plays. They are 11.8% better than Miami in the first 15 plays of the game. Okay. Throughout the season. Non-scripted. Once those first 15 end, it gets even worse. Indiana is better than Miami offensively and defensively off script. So, here we are. I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, Miami needs to keep it close. All right. Miami needs to keep it close. And I keep finding myself, Miami just needs to keep it close. But every step of the game, second half, this is where it's huge. In the second half, and I talked about the adjustments, Indiana on the year, offense plus defense, the difference between Indiana's scoring efficiency and Miami's in the second half is 31% per snap.
Wow.
per snap. They are 31% more efficient scoring the football than Miami, and Miami is really good. So this is hanging on for dear life for Miami. In every single phase, all the way through the whole game. And ultimately, I think what it comes down to, what the analysis says, is Miami needs a break. Miami needs to win the turnover battle, but something needs to happen that is out of the ordinary. Pick six, special teams touchdowns, fumbles, interceptions. This game, if both teams play good Indiana, Miami football, Miami's not winning this football game.
Yeah.
Okay. When you just look at all the numbers, phase by phase, section by section, there is nothing that says Miami's hanging on to this without some luck. Okay. And that's fumbles. That's the pick sixes. That's things that don't usually happen in college football that pop up and seem to happen and make things crazy. I think Miami needs something crazy to happen to keep it close.
Spoken as only a colonel in the 3rd Ranger Battalion could do in a quick staff meeting, 5 minutes or less, some of the absolute best kind. Look, Michael Jordan is watching the show. Pete Cordelli, he's a big fan of yours ever since he went to your quarterback camp. People never forget Coach Cordelli. Michael, on Redfish Circle in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Again, it snowed yesterday, 2 years in a row. All right, let's go to Ellis Johnson. This is a man in his distinguished career growing up in Winsboro, South Carolina. I mean, just think about the DNA in this guy's blood. Brendan calls him Tom Cruise. 2 older brothers graduate from West Point. Pete's got a brother that graduated from West Point. Dave is a genius on another level, and it says so much about the duality of man, and it's a diametrically opposing argument that can be made. People are fans of Miami. They're fans of Indiana. Dave is a fan of data and trends, and I love it. You've coached Jadeveon Clowney. You've coached Carl Lawson. You've coached Montravius Adams, Dula County High School, Vienna, Georgia. You've coached guys like that. Talk about the talent factor, Baines and Mesidor, that Miami bring in that front seven. Can they put on a Superman cape? Can they do it with just that front seven and force 3 or 4 turnovers and change the trajectory of college football? This is like the Pro Bowlers Championship.
I think they'll be effective, and I think they'll be heard from. I don't see 4 or 5 turnovers. Okay. I don't know if Indiana's had 5 turnovers the whole season. They have not turned the ball over in the playoffs. I know that, and they're the only team that has not. But a quick thing, we were talking about. Dave said Miami has to have something happen. It haunts me. I go back to that national championship game against Florida State. We had a kid get hurt the final week of practice. And the kids that we put in place of him on special teams, it wasn't the same kid on each special team, but we had to replace him on the punt block, and we had to replace him on the kickoff coverage. And if you remember the game, you may not, but we probably beaten Florida State. We're outplaying them, and we're really frustrated on offense. They faked a punt out in their midfield. And the guy that messed it up on our side was the kid that was the substitute for the other guy. They got a first down on about a 17-yard run, either a touchdown or a field goal in there, and it broke the ice for them. Later in the game, we've got the lead. We've taken it back. We're getting control of the ball game. We're covering a kickoff after our offense scored. Kid pulls up with a hamstring.
Yep.
The ball broke right through where his lane was, if it was a lane. I don't know what scheme they were running. But, I mean, it was 2 special teams plays that probably had as much effect on that game as any other plays in the whole game.
Yeah.
And it was a kid that got hurt who was a really dependable player on special teams, and the kids that playing behind him didn't get it done. So you never know what's going to happen, but the key to it is what Dave said. You got to keep it close.
Yeah.
If they're going to have something happen for them to give them a shot to win, they're going to have to, playing wise, they're going to have to keep it close first.
Yeah. Pete, weighing in on what Dave made that data, your thoughts quickly, because I know you got to go. You're going to get a PhD today?
No, I got Carson Beck's grad school curriculum. I'm trying to join in, he graduated from Georgia 2 years ago, and now he's 23. I mean, hell, he should be playing for Brigham Young. He'd have another 2 years if he was on the Mormon mission. But
Let's
no,
get him a mountain bike.
well, yeah. I mean, the way that Lavelle Edwards set that up and the way Kalani's is taking it over. I mean, when you're going against 23-year-old sophomores, Kirk Cignetti took that with him with the older guys he's got playing on his team. So, age does matter, except when you get over 50 and Ellis and I get put out the pasture. So, hey, look, it is what it is. We're the old guys, but damn, we got some good stories, brother.
I'll tell you what, you cannot beat age and experience.
That's right. We're the only country in America we push to the side. Here, go get on the rocking chair and play the harmonica or whatever the hell. But, hey, look, this offensive line for Indiana, they've only given up 11 pressures in their 2 games in the playoff, 3 versus Alabama, 8 versus Oregon. And now you got the Sack brothers coming in Messidor and Bain, who Bain has 8.5 sacks, Messidor has 10.5, 19 sacks between the two of them. And Dave makes a great point about halftime adjustments. Cignetti has 2 game plans. He always has. And that's why he reminds me of what we did with Coach Holtz. His first half, they're feeling out this team. And if they can get an explosive, they're going to take it. But, guys, against Alabama and Oregon, Indiana's run the ball 90 times. They've thrown it 36. So 2/3 of the time, they're running the game. They're running the football, excuse me. 1/3 of the time, they're passing the football. But their big deal is they want to be in 3rd and short because that's when they take their shots. That's when they have the defense going, well, it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. Are they going to run it? And that's where the play action pass and a guy like Becker with his speed can take the top off the defense. Miami, on the other hand, they don't throw the football down the field. I don't know why Shannon Dawson does not throw the football down the field. When I say that, when we broke down our field position from the line of scrimmage to 10 yards deep was short, 11 to 24 was medium. Anything over 24 yards was a deep shot because it changed field position when you made those completions. And it changes how you call plays. I mean, 25 yards is a chunk play, okay? Shannon Dawson, he doesn't throw it. It's a bunch of quick screen to Malachi Toney where they do a great job of bringing the tackle, the guard, and the center out. They kick out, and now Tony's going back at a 45-degree angle underneath and trying to break tackles going across the field. The other kid that's come up big for him is Keon. But Carson Beck has not pushed the ball down the field in a scripted play like Dave said. The unscripted play is where Beck found the touchdown the other night. The other thing I'm going to say, Indiana's the best defense in the country, maybe in college and the NFL, in open field tackling. They don't miss. Ole Miss had 17 missed tackles against Miami. 17. 10 in the first half. And yet they hung around. Wow. It's 31-27, and you're waiting until the last play of the game, which Miami got away with a PI, but not going to have 7 missed tackles, let alone 17. So when I start looking at physicality, and I think Corey Heatherman has done one unbelievable job with this Miami defense. After Mario fired Lance Guidry and he brought Corey in from Minnesota, Chorus V, man, excitement, swarm, and violence. That's their motto, ESV. And violence validates victory. And tonight, kind of guys, that in 1979, Howard Schnellenberger took over at Miami, and he said, we will win a national championship within 4 years. 1983 season, they lost to Florida in the first game. Then they went on a run. They played Nebraska in the 84 Orange Bowl, only 10 miles from where they're going to play tonight. They were a 10.5-point underdog to Nebraska, and they won 31-30 on a deflected 2-point conversion. Is this deja vu all over again tonight? And because they kept it close, like you guys are saying, but how about that, man? In '84, they played in the Orange Bowl against Nebraska and beat Tom Osborne 31-30. Are they going to beat and derail Indiana tonight? I mean, I'm so excited for intangibles that are going to show up. But to me, we're seeing the two most physical football teams left. And it's going to be a slobber knocker, Ellis, a slobber knocker.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is great. You will not get better breakdown by wiser men on network TV, but you'll get it on SEC Sidelines Sports Network and SECSidelines.live. Find us, all of our sponsors, everybody here. Wow. Dave Bartu, you heard what Pete just said about the missed tackles. Most games come down to 4 or 5 plays. Folks, CFP, College Football Matrix. Subscribe to what Dave Bartu does. We've got coaches that watch this show. We got athletic directors. I had lunch with the president of the University of Memphis last Tuesday, Dr. Hardgrave. Man, these guys pay, at least he does. He's got a PhD in information systems. He totally understands data and the correlation between missed tackles, scripting, and all that. Dave, what's incredible is you make sense out of all this complicated minutia, and make some more sense for us right now, because there's a guy out there watching right now in Jackson, Wyoming, that doesn't have a dog in the hunt tonight, but he's like, my God, I'm going to get me a 6-pack of cold beer and I'm going to eat me a dang TV dinner and I'm going to watch that game because Dave Bartu, Ellis Johnson, and Pete Cordelli have got me fired up.
Now, to me, I think what's special about this game, and I think it's being undersold a little bit more than even what the national media is giving it credit for. And I know a lot of people have talked about, well, nobody's ever won a national title with this level of talent. It's so much more than that too, because I know some people out there are painting this as a cute little run, a one-off, an outlier, even though Indiana was almost in this position last year. But when you look at the last 26 years of high school recruiting and transfer portal recruiting, we've only had one team make a national title game that wasn't a top 13 recruiter. One. In 26 years, 52 teams, one outside of Indiana. That was TCU a few years back. And then they got mollywopped. Bad, right? And that team was a lot more lucky than good because 46% of all their points came on explosive plays. Half of their points came on plays more than 20 yards down the field, running or passing the football. Totally inexplicable, massive luck. This Indiana team is as balanced as any that we've had since 2011. Alabama, which was number 1 offensive scoring efficiency, number 2 defensive scoring, or number 1 in both offense and defensive scoring efficiency. But I think we're underselling this team in terms of the rare air that we're at. This is the single greatest run of my lifetime in college football. This is the single greatest coaching run of my lifetime in college football for the last 4 years. There's nothing cute about this. There's nothing special about this. This is unreal. I don't expect to ever see anything like this again. But what it does give every fan, every single fan out there, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Arkansas, Illinois, right? Washington, you name it, Colorado, Utah. If you get it together, if you get all the pieces right, if you get the coaching right and the players right, it's telling you anybody can do this, right? I mean, it opens up the possibilities of a team to go on a run that I personally would have never thought possible. I would have never thought this possible in a million years. And so to me, that's one of the reasons why I'm really excited for the game tonight, is because this is beyond historical. This is once in my lifetime if Indiana wins all this. And if they do, I'm just going to enjoy Indiana being the single greatest data outlier in college football history.
Ellis Johnson, take that and reply. That is such profound wisdom, but you are a wise man as well. This is great stuff here, folks. Thank you all for watching, and do us a favor, share us and like us with all your friends out there. Y'all know me. I'm Junior Samples. That's BR549. Share us and like us. You're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. It means more than you realize. That's how this show's growing. And we got the best executive producer in the world. He's not feeling good today, as Dad said, Brendan Martin. But the guy is unreal. He'll put out 10 or 15 reels today from this show. So, God, I love it. Thanks. Ellis?
Dave Dave nailed it. I was on one of the regular little things I do out of Columbia the other day. And the guy asked me, he said, hey, does this mean that Carolina can one day get something together and get this done? And that's what's in all their minds. You know, well, if Indiana can do it, then why can't we? So I don't know. It's unbelievable. But if they'd just been winning by 1 or 2 points and throwing a Hail Mary at the end of the game and that kind of thing, but most all of their wins have just been totally convincing and lopsided. So I think it is. If it's an outlier, Dave knows it. But I tell you, just to watch them play, they're extremely well coached, fundamentally, mentally, technique-wise. They do it all right. And still, as you watch it as a coach, most of the time on the eye test, you'd take the other team. You'd take their players and think you can beat Indiana, and nobody's getting it done.
Look, you're right. People, until you are standing on the sidelines at a college football game, if you think this one team is so much demonstrably better than the other team, until you get down there and see those guys in the flesh, you're like, wow, they are Division I football players. In a given year, 3,500 kids would sign out of high school. 1%, 35 of them are 5 stars. 350 to 400 are 4 stars. The rest of them are 3s, 2s, and not even on the radar. Dave, great stuff here. College Football Matrix, hempforpros.com. You got aches and pains. You also want clarity. Take those energy gummies, the chill gummies, and the lights out gummies. You'll sleep better, which means you're more productive. And the energy gummies, now, I've had a little coffee this morning. I hadn't had an energy gummy yet. I'm out, but I'm getting some soon. They do make your mind. They make your mind clear, and you also appetite suppression. I mean, let me tell you, over here at the farm during duck season, Michael Jordan would cook 8 or 10 slabs of ribs. When you got food like that, you need an energy gummy because I'll take out 2 slabs if I'm not careful. Dave, throw some more red meat out there on the data part because this is incredible stuff, and the game's going to be here in less than 12 hours. And I just got something from Wesley Duncan, a friend of mine who watches, $20,000 for lower bowl tickets right now. Wow.
Oh, man, and I'm going to be sitting at home with my computer and my gin and tonic and nice and warm, and it's going to be great. But to get more data, though, I'm going to upload the entire college football play-by-play season into my AI agent. If you go on Twitter, Matrix Edge AI, I will turn it on later today. It will answer every data question and be putting out data on the game throughout the game. And it'll be using all the college football data. So that's Matrix Edge AI. I developed it because I can't think as fast as the computers. But, to me, it's going to come down to this third quarter. I think this is the big one. I really do. And this is a matter of wills. Indiana, in the third quarter, in the last 5 games, they are averaging nearly a point per snap. A point per snap. Every time the ball is snapped in the third quarter for the last 5 games, they are averaging nearly 1 point per snap. That is stupid. Miami is really good. They're averaging a half point a snap. Okay. Defensively, though, both these teams played lights out. Something's got to give. That third quarter, something has to give. If nothing gives in this game, I got Indiana 20.5, Miami 17. If nothing gives, right? I mean, if it's equal offense, equal defense, everything averages out, and these teams are equal head on head, that's what it's going to be. But I think the third quarter, this is where the game is really, if it's not already out of control, because we know how Indiana just enforces its will on everybody the last 5 games in a ridiculous manner. But if it's close, I think this third quarter is going to be the tail of the tape in the whole football game for both offenses and defenses. We'll see if it gets there, but this is where Indiana has been destroying teams in the last 5 games.
Yeah, Pete, weigh in quickly. We got about 2 minutes left.
Yeah,
Great stuff. Thanks, everybody.
Indiana in the last, Miami's defense in the last 6 games has only given up 10 points per game. So to me, and what Dave says, the third quarter, but what people don't know is Fernando Mendoza's legs will create big plays. People don't give Mendoza enough credit for his running off script ability. Mendoza from Columbus High School there in Miami, all right, same high school as Cristobal, was an all-state tennis player for 2 years. He's an athlete, man, but he's making great decisions. The other thing is Corey Heatherman, the defensive coordinator for Miami, he coached with Signetti at James. Elon Signetti was there, played New Hampshire, and Heatherman was the defensive coordinator at New Hampshire. And after that game, Signetti called him, and he hired him at James Madison. So there's a familiarity with these staffs. They know each other. It's going to come down to who the most physical team is and who's going to make the off-script play. And that's why I'm going with Mendoza over Beck. Because sometimes the stage gets a little bit too big for Carson Beck.
Yeah, and I'll just close by saying I think the real secret is Fernando was a tennis player, a 3-year letterman in high school. That accounts for his agility. Hey, Dave Bartu, you like gin and tonic? My friends Chris Perkins and Maureen, their kids Jack and Henry Perkins, have a company called Waymar Gin. I'm sending you a bottle of what you like, gin, Waymar Gin. This is their company. You'll love this stuff, okay? Hey, thanks more than you know to all of y'all on this side. Man, what a show. I cannot thank you enough for coming in here. We had a lot going on. Buddy, Ken, we had a lot going on. Brendan feeling rough today. This guy's tougher than a nickel steak, I'm telling you. Hempforpros.com. You got aches, you got pains, you need energy. You want to just chill, man. I'm kind of chill right now. You want lights out gummies for night? Hempforpros.com. The NFL players, Mike Singletary, Harry Carson. Dave, anybody else use these products?
Oh yeah, a lot of NFL alumni, a lot of Hall of Famers out there that I've sent it to. The list is too long to name with the time we have.
I know. Hey, look, LandersFordMemphis.com, folks, open every day of the week. And the new location, Landers Ford, Mount Moriah and 240, the old Dobbs Ford location, which at one time was the #1 Ford dealership in the world. It's going to be again with Brad Bellamy, Don Kitchens, Kent Ritchie, the Landers Ford people. So proud to have them as a sponsor. Rumble Boxing, how you fight is how you live. And Hewlett and Dunn Boot and Clothing Company on the historic square in Collierville, Tennessee. Look, remember, find ways to go out and help other people. Most often we see the face of Christ in the least among us. Find excuses to win. Oh no, we're getting covered. Watch that game tonight. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Executive producer Martin. Have a great day, everybody.